So, good morning. Today I want to talk about how you can be able to use the artificial intelligence platforms or the AI platforms to develop a children's storybook. I think children's storybooks are some of the content that you can be able to create. And actually, you can even be able to sell them in Amazon or any other place if you're able to create a book that is good for the children, or a book that has a content that maybe can be liked by the children. So we have two methods of creating those books. One way is to intersect two artificial intelligence platforms, or use one platform to generate the story and also use the other platform to generate the photos for the story. So that is one way you can be able to make children's storybook. So the other way is to get into an AI platform that actually generates the story and also creates a photo at the same time. So I'm going to look at both of them, but for the one for the one where I'm supposed to generate the story and then the photos for the story, I'm going to complete it tomorrow. So today I'll use a platform that will generate a story for us and also generate the photos for us, because as you know, children love photos. Now, storybooks with photos, and therefore, if you write content for children without the photos, then they are not going to be willing to take them. So if you want to generate a story, you can use you can use a platform called Chatgpt. Chatgpt is a very good generator of the stories. And as you can see there, I'm already in Chatgpt. So I generated this story I generated this story by prompting Chatgpt to create a child story from the Bible. And you can see it has created a story of David, the shepherd, and the Goliath. It's a very good story. Once upon a time, there was a young shepherd boy named David who lived in Bethlehem. David loved to play his harp and singing songs to the Lord. One day, the army of Israel was fighting. So it's a very good story. And the good thing about creating some of this story from the Bible is because the content will always be content that children that can be good for the children. Because sometimes you may create content from anything and you come to realize that the content was not good. So what you do here is that you just come and think about a topic of a story. Maybe I can just prompt ChatGPT to write a story, create a story of a boy and a rabbit. A boy and a rabbit. So if I prompt it, what am I going to get? You can see once upon a time there was a young boy named Max who lived in a small village. Max loved to explore the nearby woods and play with the animals. One day while wandering the wood, he came across a small white rabbit. The rabbit was unlike any other and see that he had seen, and was cute that Max took it. So you can see ChatGPT is actually developing a story for us. We continue with the story. You can see the story is continuing. So they have actually developed a very big story about a boy and a rabbit, and I think it's a good story. So you go through the story to see what is there in the story and to see what you can be able to change. Maybe you can decide to remove the word math and bring in a better word, maybe a common word, a common name, so that the children can resonate with the story well. So that is one way. Now, the funny thing about this story is that when you develop such a story, you actually need to take this story and go and put it in another AI or artificial intelligence platform that can be able to actually develop photos from this story or pictures from this story or even videos from this story, because sometimes children want videos, or instead of having videos, you can actually generate pictures, and then at the back of the story, you bring in a voiceover that can be able to read the story as it continues so that the children can actually be able to follow the story. So after you write that story, maybe you can come here and prompt Chatgpt to list for you generative AI platforms that can generate pictures from the story, So maybe let us see what ChatGPT is going to do for us. So you have Dalel by OpenAI, you have generative adverse network, you have all these neural designer, Crypt AI, Google Autodraw, Cartoonify, Deep Dream Generator. So if you are not contented with what you have, then maybe you can tell it to give you more, to actually add more. Because you need to go through all these platforms and see which platform is a better platform for you. So tomorrow I'll be using these platforms, one of these platforms, and I will try to generate pictures from the story, or the animations from the story, so that we can be able to put them in the story and see whether we can be able to develop a children's book using that. Now, today I wanted to use another platform, artificial intelligence platform, that actually develops the story and also the photos from the story that they are developing. And that generative AI is what we call, this one here. I wanted to use this generative AI, this one called the Once Upon a Bolt. Now, the good thing about the Once Upon a Bolt is that it will create a story, and on top of creating the story, it will go further and do what we call generate animations for the story. So we click this one, and after clicking it, you can see it has brought us to it has taken us to the platform. So this is the platform. Now, this being the platform, so the next thing that we do is to try and see whether we can be able, I'm trying to pull this so that I can be able to see whether we can be able to log in. So we want to write a story. So classic art style. So maybe we can choose the art style that we want for our story here and go for this one, a common one. Then after that, and try to see whether I'm already logged in. So we create the story. Can go to create. Now we come here and you can see what it is asking us. What do you want your story to be about? Maybe I can just write the same thing. The boy and the stranger, and a stranger. A stranger. That is the title of my story that I want. I want it to write for me the title and the stranger. Maybe I can go for, let me just go to this art style. And then after that, I can come here. I only have 4 stories remaining. Before I start paying, remember, I'm using the free stories. the free stories that are there. I know the best characters for me. So then after I'm through or I'm okay with what I have gone for, I can go for that one. Then I can tell it to create a story for me. Let me see whether it is going to do it. So you can see it is creating a story for us. Let us see what you are going to get from this story and see it is doing the text here. 99% of the story. Remember, this one does a very good job because it creates a story and also creates the images for you. So you can see it is creating the images in every page. So this book has about 3 pages. Small book has about 3 pages. So we are waiting to see the kind of the story that we are going to get from the Once Upon a Bolt. So they are still writing, try to come up with the images. So we are waiting to see what we are going to get from it in progress. You can see it is telling us that it is in progress. They are creating the animations for the same. So this is one of the platforms that you can use to make children's book. Remember, the most difficult part of making a child's book is creation of the content. And therefore, if you have a system that can be able to create a content for you, then it becomes very easy for you to be able to actually create a book without any problem. So what this means is that publishing is changing, basically because of some of these bots, or what we call the artificial intelligence systems. Because what it means is that the issue of content in publishing is becoming something that many of us can be able to do for ourselves. And as long as you can be able to, you have some of these, you are able to use some of these platforms, and therefore the issue now that remains is how we can be more creative in what we are doing. So the creativity that we have in what we are doing is what is the most important thing. So it has really dragged in this one. I wonder why it is not actually finishing my story. But you can see the title is The Bizarre Boy and the Stranger, the Boy and the Stranger. So if it doesn't, we try another one. It's no problem, but it is supposed to generate a story for me. So this is one way you can be able to generate a story where you use an artificial intelligence platform that can do both of these things. The other method is what I was trying to show you there, where you generate a story using the Chatgpt. Then you go to another platform, you intersect these platforms together, you look for a platform that can generate the animations or the photos for you. Then you put the photos in the story. Then at the back there, you can be able to get a voiceover or to put a voiceover that is going to go through the story for the children, that is going to do the story for the children. So I don't know why it has taken all this time to do this, because it is usually very fast, or it's me who gave it some instructions that are not worth it. But if it doesn't, we try another one. Maybe we can try another story, a simpler story. See, maybe I gave it instructions that were not forthcoming. So, boy had a cat. Let me go for writing. Just write the story. Maybe that one will not need a lot of issues. So it is still in progress in this. You can see the animation here shows that they're actually creating the story for us. So that is one way we can be able to create a story. I'm waiting for the images and the story. I actually don't know why the system is not working today, it's misbehaving today. But as we wait, I can still go back to my, it's here. I can still go back to my story here. We're going to come to that one. Maybe this one we can, like a story that we had written here of the boy and the rabbit, we can copy it. Then after copying it, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to. We can copy it. And then after copying it, we can actually develop. Let me see where we can come here, develop another tab. Develop another tab. Then after developing another tab, maybe we can check whether they have finished our story here. I don't know why it is not giving me the text today, but it is actually supposed to give you the text and the story, and a good story that is written using some of that text. So I think the system is misbehaving today, but it's supposed to give you a story about, a developed story about what the topic that you have given it, and small photos there, all animations for the whole thing. So I wanted to show you the second way of doing it, and the second way of doing it, of going to, I expected this thing to finish, but because it is not finishing, let me see whether I can go to www. You come here to Crayon AI. Now, Crayon AI is also going to help you to, or their e-mini is going to help you to create photos for the story that we have actually had. The story that we actually had created using what we call Chatgpt. So I'll come here and paste the story there. You can see the story of the maths, and then I tell it to draw the photos. So let me see whether this one is going to work. So it's supposed to draw the photos, and after drawing the photos, then you can take the photos and put them in the story. Put them in the story. You can actually transfer the story from Chatgpt to the canvas, and then after taking them to the canvas, then whatever photos that are going to be generated from the story, because you see the most difficult part is generating photos from the stories, or the photos that can go hand in hand, or animation that can go hand in hand with the story. So after you generate, you're able to generate those animations. Then all what you need to do is to fix them in the story. After fixing them in the story in the canvas. Now, remember here you are in the canvas. Then after that, you can be able to actually develop the page, and after developing the page, then you the cover pages, then you can be able to create your book. So you can see this one has actually created the images for me. You have the rabbit there in Max. You have all these stories, all these animations. Then what I need to do is to take the animations and put them in the story. So I'll go to the canvas where I have actually saved the story from Chatgpt. Then I will fix some of these photos into the story because they have been generated from the story. Remember, this was a story about the small boy and the rabbit, and you can see we have the small boy and the rabbit, the photos or the animation. So it becomes very easy for me. So this is one way in which you can be able to do it. I will actually do it better tomorrow when I'll be using another platform called Midjourney. The good thing about Midjourney is that it is able to create very, very good images from some of these stories, and therefore it is very easy for you to be able to develop a high quality book. If you look at these images, although they are good for children, they are a bit complicated because they are not very coherent with the story that we are talking that we have there, but it still can be used to develop the book. The most important part is for us to be able to generate a story and also to generate the photos for the story, or the photos that go hand in hand with the story. Now, maybe I go back to the other one. I see whether we have had anything from it. That one was on the chatbot. And I wanted to see whether it has developed the story for me. Share. So I think it has a problem. It has a problem because it ought to have actually developed the story for me right now. But maybe I can try it tomorrow and see whether it is going to work. But this one, as I said, here you just need to write for it to give it the prompt of the story that you want, and it will generate the story and also the photo. For the Chatgpt, you develop the story or create the story using Chatgpt. Then you look for another platform that can be able to generate animations or photos from the story. And as you can see here, I have decided to use Crayon AI, and you can see what Crayon AI has done for me. You can see what Crayon AI has done for me. It has generated the photos from the story, and all what you need to do now is to get the story together. You merge the story together with the photo. So thank you very much for listening. I do believe that you have actually acquired some knowledge about how you can use some of these artificial intelligence platforms to do some of these things, to create children's stories and also to create photos for or animations for the stories, and in the long end to be able to write small books for the children. And remember, after writing the book, you can be able to look for another platform where you can be able to come to sell the book and see whether you can be able to make money from some of these contents that you are creating. So thank you very much.